keeps going. Williams. Second and 3. Again. Touchdown.
Heavy dose of Kyron Williams for the Saints, and the Rams go up at one point in this game 30-7. This is interesting to see. A daily sports podcast, news, narratives, takes, and gambling. And we're just going to quick Dennis Allen. Has he been fired yet? Dennis Allen's defense allowed a ton of points. Saints' aggressive play calling ends up coming back to haunt them. Nope, not been fired yet. I believe that will happen today. If not, they can still make the playoffs, but they suck, though. You could go. Interim head coaches have gone to the playoffs before, I'm pretty sure. That everything's happened in NFL history. I mean, nothing crazy, but here's one thing that hasn't happened. In 2012, Calvin Johnson set the NFL single-season receiving record with 1,964 yards. Probably be broke this year by Tyreek Hill. Maybe, unless he doesn't play this weekend. In 2021, 9 years later, Cooper Kupp had the second most receiving yards in a single season with 1,947. He also led the league in touchdowns and catches, known as the Triple Crown, which never happens. And this year, Puka Nacua is 147 yards away with 2 games left, which means that he could theoretically still get it in the 17-game seasons that we used to have. He's 147 yards away from setting the rookie single-season receiving yards record. Stafford is a Hall of Famer now. And it's not really arguable. He is so good. It's crazy. I wonder what it would take to get a guy like that. Maybe you could throw in Jared Goff and a couple picks. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Football Friday, it's also the last show of the season. And we have ourselves a hilarious controversy. So let's talk. So here's the thing. Simone Biles is trending. Hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of tweets. I don't really know. So this is the Girls Are Fighting, which is... I don't know what that means, but this is Simone Biles' husband's. I went on a podcast with some people that I don't really recognize, and he said, he's the catch, not Simone Biles. Now, I think it's very clear he's joking. Let's listen.
I ain't never, I never really paid attention to gymnastics, so it piqued my curiosity, so I'm like, okay, I'll see what's up. I swiped her, and it said we matched, so I'm just like, oh, okay, so I'm gonna see what's up. So I go do my workout, and I come back, and I get I had some likes on my Instagram, and I'm like, oh, this might be it. I'm like, okay. So I see what's up, and then I still waited. I'm like, man, I'm gonna wait till I, take a shower and everything.
Yeah, boring.
Your story, man, continue.
But like I was saying, man, she messaged me. This was like a Tuesday. In my mind, I'm like, okay, she gotta be good. I promise you, I'm a real life story. When she won the Olympics, I was in college. And
so he's basically saying, I didn't really hear about her before. I don't watch the Olympics. And people are roasting him for this. Simone is there at the interview. This is a story about how they met. And I don't think she's insulted by this a lot. I think she's laughing. But people are really big mad about the misogyny of this. Someone says, Gabrielle says, Simone Biles is one of the greatest athletes who has ever lived. You could argue she's the greatest athlete that's ever lived. She's pretty crazy. She invented moves in gymnastics that they had to ban other people from trying because it could kill them, and she was not allowed to do things that she invented. She was to the point where people that were winning silver medals were like, "This is basically a gold because Simone doesn't count." And they're adorable. They're laughing. They have a kid together. They've been married now for a while. Everyone's roasting this guy, but this one makes a really great point. Some person makes a really great point, which is that nobody's calling him anything other than Simone Biles' husband. And I'll be honest with you. Yeah, I don't know who the hell this guy is. He played for the Texans for a while. I don't know if he still does. She's from Houston, so that makes sense. But people are big mad about this. I'm not mad about it. Just whenever we say that J.J. Watt's wife is a soccer player, yeah, J.J. Watt is the famous one. Now, what if this? She was on the other foot right now because I have no idea who the hell her husband is. He had I think he just screams defensive back to me. I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. But she's the GOAT of GOATs. So, yeah. All right, let's go to hockey. Where Tom Wilson crashes the net right here, and then he's in the net, and the goalie's stick is in the net with him. You watching this? And then the goalie's like, get the... And he's got him, and look at this. Oh, my God, what a wet dream for goalies this must be. Tom Wilson trapped in the cage, and Tom drops the goalie, which only happened because he's whatever. And then his teammates couldn't get there. I have no idea what happened, but, man, could you imagine how great it would be to have Tom Wilson, the GOAT goon, who is both the best goon and the best hockey player goon, trapped in your net, and he's sitting on your stick, so you have a reason to get at him. Oh man, what a cool moment that must have been. The Pistons suck. How bad do the Pistons suck? Here, let's listen to some chants.
Will prove to be a bit of a silver lining for the Pistons.
Sell the team. The Pistons
is a better
kind of sick right now.
So the Pistons were losing. They lost to the Jazz. It's one of their only winnable games in the foreseeable future. The Jazz were without one of their best players, and the team blows.
Sick right now. I am sick right now. We're trying to build something that's sustainable. It's not like we're trying to just go out there and win one game.
That's former first overall pick, Cade Cunningham. They should do the old Sixers redshirt and sit him again. Just trust the process. Just keep sucking. Do it for like 7 years, and then eventually you'll be a perennial contender / lose to the Celtics every year in the playoffs, which is better than what you have. The Dodgers have spent $1 billion on 2 different people. They signed someone named Yamamoto, who had been a coveted free agent in the baseball offseason. He is a pitcher. Yamamoto is being paired with Shohei Ohtani, and I'll be honest with you. I wonder how much they were discussing with each other. Was this something that they wanted to happen? Good teammates. I don't know that it has anything to do with one another. They obviously know each other. They would have played on the baseball classic team and whatever. Breitbart is trending. Great. Love that. But there's $1 billion in guaranteed contracts for 2 guys. The Dodgers really want to. Now what's going to happen is that the Dodgers are about to get bounced in the first round of the playoffs. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, a.k.a. C.D. Deuce, his name change is happening, is back in the Lions team. He's the heart and soul of the team, blah, blah, blah. He posts on Instagram. He runs his mouth a lot. He posted this on Instagram on his Instagram story. That, I think, is Hutchinson playing some ping pong. Hutchinson cut his hair because he was sucking with the long hair. But if we zoom in, C.D. Deuce doing one of his boys dirty. I did not zoom in to figure out who that is, but he doesn't look like a lineman. That is someone's bare ass in the background. His Instagram story he got mooned in his Instagram story. The NFL is dummying the NBA on Christmas Day. That used to be the NBA's day. Now Christmas Day falls on a Monday, and the NFL is like, swoop, we'll take that. How long before the NFL just moves holidays? 3 games on Christmas Day. Let's start on the Christmas Day games. They're all the game of the year, something that's only happened one time since the merger, which is that the number 1 team on one side of the bracket and the number 1 team on the other side of the bracket are happening to play in the regular season. The last time it happened was like Bengals with like the old good Bengals team. Was it Boomer Esiason was their quarterback? And who's that guy that's a commentator now? Chris Collinsworth? Yeah. Anthony Munoz. And then they played the Niners. And then that ended up being a Super Bowl match. Now that everyone thinks that this could be a Super Bowl matchup, Ravens-Niners, by far the best two best teams in the NFL. Throwing down Christmas night. I will be footballed out by that point. I'm not going to watch it. I just can't do it. Then we have 2 divisional matchups, which seemed like they could have been fun when they scheduled it, but not now. Raiders at Chiefs on Christmas Day. The Chiefs are 10-point favorites. The Chiefs are weird. I don't know. And then the Eagles are hosting the Giants in a get-right spot on Christmas Day. They're going to ruin the Danny DeVito thing. Everybody who knows Italians in New York City, they are all related to somebody. They have an uncle or a cousin that lives in South Jersey and Philadelphia. So this is going to be the DeVito stuff at home on Christmas Day is not going to be an enjoyable thing for him. I would parlay, just for fun, if I were gambling on this, I would parlay the 3 favorites on Christmas Day. That'd be fun. I don't think that's what's going to happen because that's just too much weirdness. Or you could do the all underdog parlay. That would make a ton of sense. I like the Raiders to cover more than I like any of the other people to cover. I don't think that's going to happen. This could happen if the Eagles are just incompetent. Also Matt Patricia. And the Ravens, I think, could win the game outright. But I would do all underdogs or all favorites. That could be fun. Okay. The Saturday games. Remember, there are Saturday games. The biggest game of the weekend, one of the biggest games of the weekend, other than Niners-Ravens, Bengals-Steelers is a Saturday game. Bills-Chargers. Of all of the games to bet on, the Bills covering 12.5 makes sense. Their Giff Smith is going to be coaching the Chargers. Is it going to be a bump? It's not. They have Easton Stick, and the Bills are getting right. And the Bills and the Lions are the 2 teams this weekend where I'm going to call those blood in the water games, where the Bills have to basically win out. They've lost a lot of tiebreaker games to AFC opponents, which means they have to win the division. In order to win the division, they have to win out. And they need a little help, but they have to win out to get to 10-7. The Lions could clinch their first division title on Sunday by beating the Vikings. The Lions have 10 wins. 11 is the magic number. If the Vikings lose at any point in time over the next 3 games, The Lions win the division by default no matter what happens. The Lions control their own destiny, but they don't need to win. However, so 3 games. If the Lions win 1, they're division champs. If the Vikings lose 1, the Lions are division champs. However, in the last 3 games, the Lions and Vikings played twice. Ooh la la. But I think the Lions and the Bills are going to go into domes on the road, feel comfortable, and they're just going to throttle. They're going to just destroy these people. Backup quarterbacks. I guess for the Vikings is technically a 4th string quarterback because they had Cousins and then Jaron Hall and then Josh Dobbs and now it's Nick Mullins. They're doing some really freaky stuff on defense. I don't know. I think I'm called blood in the water game for those two. So I would bet on the Lions. I would bet on the Bills. The Colts are underdogs at the Falcons. The Falcons blow. So I would bet this weekend Bills, Lions, Colts to cover. And then one other one. Actually, my favorite bet. My number 1 favorite. I forgot about this one. Is Chicago to cover. Chicago's 4.5-point favorites at home against the Cardinals. The Cardinals understand how tanking works. The Bears are trying to, we're going to try to build culture. Cardinals are going to go in there and lay down. I think so. So Bears, Lions, Chargers. And then the Colts to maybe even win the game. Bears, Lions, Chargers, Colts. And then on Thanksgiving or on Christmas Day on Monday, I would just bet on all underdogs or all favorites and parlay it just for fun, just like a quick sprinkle, just something baby. Last show of the year, college football rundown. We have a week's worth of college football games that we're going to miss. Next show will be like the January 2nd or something, so we will have played all of these. Quick thoughts. Ole Miss is going to beat Penn State. Penn State's going to have people opting out. Missouri might beat Ohio State. I can tell you the Big Ten, the narrative here is the Big Ten SEC shit-talking. There is a lot on the line because if Ole Miss beats Penn State and Missouri beats Ohio State and Alabama beats Michigan, that would be a tough look. So all of the big, there's another one. There's Iowa, Tennessee, and Wisconsin, LSU. Ooh, Big Ten SEC's got there's some meat on the bone this year. The playoff games and the playoff games will happen on the 1st. The other big games will happen on the 30th. 31st, I think, is what, a Saturday? Or wait, Sunday? And they're just going to bow down. Yes, it's on Sunday. They're just going to bow down to the NFL, which is the thing to do. No big bowl games on the 31st as far as I'm aware. Oh, wait, and there's Auburn and Maryland. Georgia, Florida State's going to be sad. You're going to want to watch that game. Don't watch that game. Noon kickoff for the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Ole Miss, Penn State. And then on the 29th, Missouri, Ohio State. So right toward the New Year holiday, right when you're starting to feel like, man, I'm fat, I got to go to the gym after all this Christmas stuff, you're going to have this Big Ten SEC throwdown. That's the narrative over the weekend. All right, back and better than ever in the year of our Lord. Thanks for hanging out this year. I will see you in the year 20 and 24.